Hey guys, Matt at Triple Locked Adventures. Say hi to Zoe, she's trying to help out. Just finished up an install on a winch Fairlead for the Lexus, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. So I was originally going to do an actual install video, but yeah, I had a lot of issues. Bolts were cross-threaded, the front winch flat link wouldn't come off. It's been just a multi-day process of getting the right tools and parts together, which, you know, as these things go, it should have been a 15-minute install, but it was not. But let's talk about winch Fairleads and why it's important to have the right Fairlead for the winch you have and also the bumper you have. So first and foremost, let's kind of just show what we're working with here. So this is after the fresh install. You can see the bolts are all still nice and fresh. This is the new Factor 55 Offset Hawse winch Fairlead. The old one, which I'll show you guys here, was just the one that comes with the come-up winch. Don't mind the dog that's going to be in the photo. As you can see, it got super corroded and was flaking, which is what prompted me to replace it. It wasn't this bad. I kind of, you know, picked and prodded at it, but you know, it was like kind of mostly hidden before, and I'm like, wow, this thing looks like it's getting really corroded, and it really was. This was unfortunately only on the vehicle for about maybe 3 winters. I think I've had this bumper and winch on there. It's one of the longest things, so it might be 3 years now, it might be 3 winters, but this is what has happened to this winch Fairlead. As you can imagine, if you're running a rope against that, you're gonna have a catastrophic failure. So it prompted me to buy a new Fairlead. So I started doing a bunch of research, and I was looking at the front bumper, and it's gonna be hard to see now with the new one. Let's see if I can get the sun out of the way. This is now perfectly lined up with the bottom of the winch. I don't know what you call it, the drum on the winch. Before, it was way down here, and I'll try to post some photos up here right now that show you guys what it was like before. So the original winch Fairlead was not offset. You can see that this line is offset higher than the mounting bolts. So before, it was dead center. What it was doing was, anytime you'd winch the line, especially if you were dragging the line down from an angle like this, it was rubbing actually on the bumper. So I was like, man, there's gotta be a different solution. And I always love Factor 55's equipment. I've had this flat link expert on the front for a while. Honestly, I've only used it a few times, but I really like their product. So I looked at Factor 55, and they literally list this Factor 55 Offset Fairlead for ARB bumpers. I was like, no way, you know? So I did all the measurements, looked it all up, and it worked phenomenal. It's worth noting this install should only take you guys 15 to 20 minutes. You either need to take off your hook on the front or whatever system you have on the front and then slide it through your Fairlead. If that is not an option, say you have like a fixed hook, you would actually need to unroll the entire line and unbolt the line from the drum and do it that way. Or you could actually, if you know how, you could actually undo the rope from the factory hook. There are ways to do that. Find some videos online. I think Max Powell's channel had one from a couple years ago with Factor 55 showing how to do it, so that's worth looking up. I'll try to, if I remember to do it, I'll try to link his channel and the video in this, but I might not remember to do that. So that's a good way to do it too. Either way, you need to get this piece off first, slide it out, unbolt the old Fairlead and bolt the new Fairlead in. In my case, the shop that did the install on my bumper and the winch and everything, for whatever reason, they didn't have the right bolts, so they cut them. They cut longer bolts shorter, and in the process of doing that, they actually cross-threaded them into the nuts that go back here. So I had to buy the correct bolts and new nuts and put it all back together, which took a couple days for everything to come in, and Postal Service misplaced my package for a few days. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I got it all. I got everything that I needed here, and I actually struggled to get this off too. I think there was just some corrosion on this pin. I had taken out there's a little retaining clip in there. You can kind of see it. I took that out, and I could not get this pin that's in here. It's a titanium pin, double shear pin. I could not get it out. I was working with Factor 55 because they said it's very rare that any kind of corrosion, due to the materials here, you shouldn't have any kind of corrosion. Mine definitely is kind of corroded back there and kind of getting worn out from being on the front of the truck. But I ended up having to use a ball joint press with a 1/4-inch dowel on the bottom to get it out, unfortunately. So needless to say, the install video kind of just went blank. So I could probably take this all back apart and show you guys if you're really interested in how to do this, but I'll be honest, it's really just 2 bolts on the front. However, it's retained to your bumper. Slide all this stuff out, put the new stuff in, bolt it together. It's a pretty quick install. But kind of just wanted to talk about that. This is a nice system. Everything worked great. Let me walk inside here. I'll show you some of the features of this and why we did the Factor 55 one. So there's some videos online of how you guys do this, or I mean how the intricacies, I should say, of the Fairlead from Factor 55. They have like a whole engineering video that they go through on it. But a couple notes is their Fairlead is actually a little bit thicker than other ones on the market. So this one's between 1 and 1.5. I want to say the one I got is 1.5, if I remember correctly. The come up one is actually pretty thick. I measured it. It is a 1-inch. The big key to this and the way Factor 55 machines this and the process they use for machining it, and then they put it in like a tumbler with abrasive material, it gets off any of the sharp burrs that could potentially take place, which would cause excessive heat or cutting of the rope. And then their radius on this is very, very, it's a very large radius, very smooth radius on this. So one, it allows you to hit a different angle on it, but it also significantly lowers the temperature due to abrasion going into the Fairlead. So that's a huge plus. Also, the coating that they use on this is extremely strong and is supposed to hold up really, really well. It's like a gunmetal gray hard anodized finish to some sort of mil spec. Actually, you might even see it on here somewhere. Yeah, there you go. There's a mil spec rating gunmetal gray finish. Overall, though, this thing is great. They make them for a bunch of applications, even ATVs and UTVs. Everything's made in the US. They're phenomenal. I believe they're a partner company of Warren's. Very, very high quality equipment. So yeah, I just want to make a quick video on this, guys. That's really it on this. If you guys have any questions, if you're looking for me to do a reinstall, I guess you want to say, the way it really, how quick it normally would be, I can do that. Drop some questions, concerns, interest in the comments. If you found this useful, give me a like, subscribe. In the meantime, stay adventurous. Love you guys. Peace.